Joining me at this point is Nirmohi Akhara spokesperson Karttik Chopra, live on the broadcast. I appreciate you joining me on the broadcast, sir. Thank you for speaking to NewsX. What is exactly now the stand of the larger akharas, and in fact, all these people who have been felt that there is in fact a deceive nature that has been presented after this lab report has confirmed there is beef oil, there is now adulteration into the making of the ghees into that laddu. But where is exactly this anger also targeted?
Good morning. Our Vaishnav Akhadas was set up by Guru Ramanand in the 13th century, and they were established for the protection of our Hindu society and culture and traditions and our deities. It has come to our attention through the media that nobody less than the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, has claimed that these laddus have been made with adulterated ghee, which contains animal fat, of content of beef, of pork, of all kinds of things, and this has further been substantiated by the official lab reports that have been presented in the media. Now, our akhadas are Ramanandi Vaishnav akhadas. On 22nd January this year, after a wait of 496 years, and the Nirmohi Akhara fought for 491 years for the liberation of the holy Ram Mandir, 1 lakh laddus was sent from Tirupati to be distributed as prasad at Shri Ram Janmabhoomi on this holy day of 22nd January. None less than our Honorable Prime Minister carried out the consecration ceremony there. For us, this has, if this is proved that this is true, this has been the biggest assault on the entire Hindu faith. Bhagwan Shri Ram is our Isht Dev. And for us, he is the most supreme soul who we have worshipped and we have fought for. And if such an act has been committed, then all those laddus that were distributed on 22nd January are tainted. We are not satisfied with the Honorable Health Minister saying that I have ordered an FSSAI inquiry. This is not a health issue. This is a direct assault on our core Astha, on our Devta, on Tirupati Balaji. Tirupati Balaji Mandir at one point in time till 1932 belonged to the Hathiram Muttji. It was taken from them by the British created TTD Trust. So much so that even proceeds from the temple were taken and used in the British war effort across the world. Now, is this what our temples are meant for? After 1947, are we still to be remained shackled in such temple trusts that have been created? We took the laddus were taken by the temple trust in good faith for distribution, because for the temple trust, Lord Balaji is such a high and superior shrine. And we thought it was fitting that laddus would come from there. Otherwise, our Ramanandi Bairagi Parampara does not permit any kind of offering of bhog to the deity which is not prepared personally by only selected Rasoiyas in the Mandir Rasoi. So despite that, we said that all right, if these laddus have come, let them be they can be distributed. Surely the person who was making and sending the laddus could have thought these companies which have been supplying ghee according to the temple trust have been doing it for the last 1 year. Today is 21st September. 22nd January was just almost 9 months ago. It's well within the time of supply by these tainted ghee suppliers. We want nothing less than an immediate CBI or a judicial inquiry instituted by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court today. Our akhadas are getting furious. They are very angry at what has been done and they want the truth. I respect our government. We respect the rule of peace. We have seen in the past what has happened when somebody made some comments and then all that Sar Tan Se Juda nonsense was started. People lost their lives. We Hindus are not like that. We are very, very tolerant. We are very, very peaceful. But for God's sake, do not mistake our tolerance and being peaceful for a sign of weakness. If the akharas
also
have fought for 500 years.
I understand that, but what exactly, is essential at this given point of time? Given the fact Amul has issued a clarification, there is AR Dairy, which has also come out in the public forum, said these statements here and there, and then there is another set of political slugfest that has been ongoing.
What we say is that we don't want this reduced to a political slugfest because politicians are unimportant. Politicians are selected by the people. You are the sevaks of the people. We select you to run our government. We don't select you to be our badshahs and emperors. For that, we had the British, which ruled till 1947, who we threw out. Very, very simply, we do not trust the state police of Andhra Pradesh. We do not trust the politicians. We do not trust the temple trust. We do not trust anything that comes out from there. We want a CBI inquiry of the highest level. The director CBI must personally take charge of this case. The Honorable Supreme Court must take suo moto cognizance of the importance of this case. If in our Ram Janambhoomi judgment, one of the bench clearly said that this matter is higher than title is one of faith. Well, this one is also of our very faith. The same mandir which was liberated on 9th November 2019 and which was consecrated on 22nd January 2024. If such beef and animal fat infused laddus were the ones that were sent to us, we want immediate criminal action and the strictest of punishment against everybody involved in that.
There is larger discontent as we can understand. Of course, for the Hindu community, this is considered and felt more so after talking to a lot of people who have been representing and very religiously attached to the sentiments, with the temple and its faith as well. But at this given point of time, this is even snowballing in inquiries and in matters further. But is there a need to look at this beyond this and only issue? Because if it can happen at Tirupati, world renowned Tirupati temple, it could have also been happened at some other renowned temple where people are going and worshipping just like a normal person with holding the faith. But the temple trust, the state run temples, these are of course these institutions which are now being put in focus. The entire center on agenda is how the functioning is going, that there are now questions arising over the fact in which there is adulteration even with the prasadam.
As far as we are concerned, we have strongly been of the view from the beginning that all temples should be returned to the religious sects and the leadership of the religious sects to whom they belong. The government, the state government, have absolutely no business operating our temples. Why don't they go out and operate the masjids? Why don't they go out and operate the churches? Why are we being singled out? Why is the largest majority in this country since 1947 being selected for second-class treatment? Why should the Hindu be a second-class citizen in Hindustan? Is our point. We want our temples freed. You have taken our temples from us. You have operated them. You put political appointees as trustees. These people have their own financial gains to look at. We are furious at you. Remove these temple trusts which have state government involvement. We do not agree with it. We have absolutely no desire for this continuance to be, and we request the Honorable Home Minister and the Honorable Prime Minister to immediately put together a committee to even investigate into each one of these state government run trusts that are around the country. Go into the background. Why was Hathiram Baba removed from the Shebiyatship of Tirupati Balaji in 1932 by the British? Who was behind it? And why did something that was done by the British, why is that case still lingering in the courts? Hathiram Baba is associated with Digambar Akhara and Nirmohi Akhara. Mahant Prayagraj always used to come and stay in our Akhara. We Akharas eventually, when it comes to matters of faith, we all unite. Kumbh Mela is coming, madam, in January. All the Akharas will take a very serious decision on temples that are being run by state government. And we beseech the union government. Concerned with your elections. Our faith is being defined.
Right, panel to look into all these irregularities that have been also flagged earlier, because in Tirupati it was not just right now. The FSSAI has been already inspecting on the complaints of the activist in 2016. Even when it was flagged back then, it is 8 years back, long back thing. But is there a demand, because this is related to the faith of the people, astha of the people, and also more so with the decades and so many centuries old tradition for the temples as well? Is there a unified demand to get a panel or a committee which is not associated with the state or at least with any political party to maintain the integrity and also the purity of that religion?
let me tell you, as far as all these panels are concerned, Mr. Pawan Kalyan has said there should be a panel. We don't want any politician on the panel. I'll give you names. If we want this panel, then like in our temple trust, one of the lawyers who fought in the case, in the suit alongside us, Mr. K. Parasaran, a devout Hindu, somebody who is a legal luminary and understands tradition completely. We want people like him in such a panel if it is instituted. We do not want anybody with any political background involved. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to replace a state government trust across the country with a national government controlled trust. Sorry, we don't accept it. Only our religious leaders put a trust where you have all the representatives from all the Vaishnava Akhadas. You have people, you have all the Shankaracharya. Why can't our religious leaders run our religion? Why do we need to report to some bureaucrat from any state government? Why should he decide on a tender basis which ghee is going to be bought or what is going to be bought? We only give the best. If we use ghee in our mandir, from the milk we make the cream, from the cream we make the ghee. उसका भोग चढ़ता है. 56 भोग जो बनता है उसके जो रसोइये होते हैं, हम लोगों को भी आदेश नहीं है अंदर उस रसोई में जाने का. आधे हमारे पत्तों को नहीं होता. एक रिवाज चल रहा है, एक ट्रेडिशन है, एक परंपरा है. ये परंपरा जिंदा रही है तो हिंदू धर्म, सनातन धर्म जिंदा रहा है इतने हजारों साल. इसको मत छेड़िए. ये अंग्रेजों ने छेड़ा, इसको मुगलों ने छेड़ा. अब क्या हमारे इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट्स जो हैं, are they going to tamper and interfere with our religious practices? Article 25, 26 of the Constitution gives me rights. 14, 15 gives me rights. If my rights are being violated, what right do you have to institute a government-controlled trust over my temple when my rights are guaranteed under the Constitution? Why don't you do the same with the church? Why is the Pope in Rome in charge of all the churches, the Roman Catholic churches in India? These are in the territory of India. They should come under direct administration of the government if our temples are under government control. Muslims today, like Zakir Naik across the world, a terrorist, is shouting that the Waqf board will never be tampered with in India. Who are you? He needs to be arrested immediately. The Waqf board is one where illegally Hindus' lands were stolen from them during the time of the Mughals and the Lodhis and the other Muslim administrations that agree. We don't want to get into Hindu-Muslim, ma'am. But if you force us to, then we will come out with the truth. And the truth will be something which will be something that the other communities will want to hear. If you have given us laddus and you are distributing laddus on a daily basis, which are adulterated with animal fat of this type, for a Hindu to be able to be forced to be cheated and given beef like this, what do I say? It's not just an attack on my faith. It's a complete attack on my very identity. We Hindus are born as Hindus. We don't have to read the Kalma to become a Muslim or be baptized to become a Christian. What is this? Is this a way to baptize us, to change our faith? Who is behind Jagan Mohan Reddy's government? What are the religious antecedents of these people? Who are the organizations behind them? In any case, we found that during the opening of the Ram Mandir, so many of these parties, as well as the Congress and opposition and communists and XYZ, were all against the opening of the temple. They all objected to the Prime Minister opening this temple. Who were they? Why did they do it? Is this a deeper conspiracy? We want a CBI inquiry, madam.
All right. A CBI inquiry
by the Supreme Court.
In the focus. All right. Nirmohi Akhara's Karttik Arora speaks to us, and a CBI inquiry is in fact now been put in focus and in one of the earlier demands after this entire controversy of adulteration into the making of the laddus at the world-renowned Tirupati temple has now blown out of the proportion. Thank you for speaking to NewsX, Mr. Karttik Chopra.
For more such videos,